The man who loves you is going to hurt your feelings. When a man truly cares about you, he will correct you because real love does not applaud your
Men communicate to establish truth. Women communicate to establish harmony. I'll say that again. Men communicate to establish truth. Women communicate to establish harmony. The man's love is very different from the woman's love because the man's love is full of correction, tension, and uncomfortable truths. This is what we call tough love. If you cannot provide a woman with this type of love, then she will associate you with the same type of love she receives from her friends, her brothers and sisters, her mom, fellas in the friend zone, and fellas who simp for her on social media. When me and my woman used to watch Kevin Samuels, she used to be so confused as to why the women would call in just to be broken down by Kevin Samuels. And I had to explain to her that the majority of women are dying for tough love. They are dying for correction and they are dying for uncomfortable truths because the people in their life absolutely refuse to give it to them.
When he corrects you, he risks the attitude, the slammed doors, the flying frying pan, the whole week on the couch just to keep you from wrecking yourself. When your trainer screams at you for giving half-ass reps, why? It's because he wants you to win. When your boss drags you into the office, he wants better performance. When your man calls you out, it means he wants you to be the best version of you forever.
Most men are too afraid to give the woman the tough love she needs because he is afraid of the risk it presents. He is afraid of the woman walking away. Women can see this insecurity within you, and if they can see it, they will disqualify you and pull away from you. Now, these women don't know why they're doing this. They may say that it shows that you have no options, and that is true. It may say that you practice toxic, unhealthy attachments, and this is true. Regardless, it shows that you are afraid of her free will and that you won't respect her freedoms if it means losing them. It shows that you are more invested in owning them and potentially keeping them small over what is truly best for them. It shows that you are more invested in fear than faith. And a good man is a faithful man, not a man of fear. If you love something, can you let it go? Because if you can't, then you don't truly love this thing. You truly love yourself. If you love something, can you let it go?
If he just watches you gain weight, flirt with idiots, act like a hoe online, ruin your reputation, and says nothing, you're not his woman. You're his for now girl.
Yeah.
When he finally says, this isn't you, level up, his heart is pounding. He knows the pan might fly across the room. And he also knows that the couch is waiting for him. But watching you shrink hurts him more than any of that ever could.
I don't know about no couch, and you're throwing pans across the room. You better make sure that pan does not hit me or I'll be throwing you across the room. But anyway, as I said, most men are too afraid to give the woman the tough love she needs because he is too afraid of the risk it presents. He is too afraid of the woman walking away. But ironically, the woman will walk away no matter how you decide to love her. Walking away is a part of the journey, fellas. All right? Every story that you can think of that revolves romance, there's always a section to where separation occurs, where somebody walks away. And if you don't walk away, I promise you, fellas, at some point, the woman will get in her mind that walking away is the better option. So it's simply a part of the journey. So the woman will walk away no matter how you decide to love her. As I said, you can take the masculine love path or the feminine love path. The masculine love path creates tension because it is full of correction and uncomfortable truths. The feminine love path creates tension because it is invested in keeping the peace, omitting truths in favor of harmony, and avoiding correction like her friends do, like her family do, like her parents do, like the boys in her friend zone do. But women already receive this type of love in abundance. As I said, this is the love the woman is familiar with. And as I always say, with women, familiarity breeds contempt. And she will times this contempt for you times 3. Because familiarity love is nothing like romantic love. And she is expecting for you to provide her with a romantic experience. She's expecting for you to provide her with a love she can call romantic love. She will leave you in the worst way if you choose to love her in a feminine way. So she's going to leave you either way. Which path will you take? Will you take the faithful path, the masculine path, or will you take the fearful path, the feminine path? She will judge you for both paths. And fellas, if you don't like what I'm saying, if you don't like this aspect of women, if you don't like this aspect of truth and reality, then you don't like women. You don't understand the concept of love. You just don't get it. All right? We don't own anybody. These women don't own me. These women don't own me. A lot of you are dealing with dysregulated women. A lot of you are dealing with immature women. Women who haven't had to overcome the same types of hardship as you. So let's stop expecting women to be masculine and developed and full of advanced behaviors and advanced psychologies and advanced perspectives. They don't have those things. They don't have those things. What they have is juicy bums, juicy breast, nice feet, pretty faces. Fam, you guys want it all, don't ya?
Boys say, you're perfect, queen, never change. Yeah. Real men say, you're fire, but this habit is trash. And I am not letting it dim you or me anymore.
Fellas, I keep telling you, I make it a point to communicate to you guys that every woman that I've gotten real loyalty from, every woman that has truly loved me, truly sacrificed themselves for me, you know, they've all left at some point. You know, they've all left at some point. Women have many, many flaws, you know, so they have this desire to always do better. And they make awful comparative analysis. They lack empathy and they lack an ability to truly understand the things happening outside of them. They lack the ability to truly value things. They don't know how to value themselves and they don't know how to value you and other things. Women struggle with appraising things and figuring out how value or rare something is. They don't know these things. They're just pretty. They're just pretty. All right? Like literally beautiful creatures. All right, but they don't really understand the world and where they fit in the world and where you fit in the world. And especially if you're dealing with women who are what? In their 20s? Right? Even women in their 30s, man. All right, so it's very common for the woman to basically shoot herself in the foot and to sabotage her own life and the things that are good for her and the things that she receives. And so when you deal with a woman, she's going to do the same thing. All right, so it's quite normal for a woman to kind of be like, let me see what I can do. Let me see if I can do better. These things happen. These things really happen. Women are compulsive and they're impulsive and they're very emotional. They're very emotional. They're not value driven like a masculine man is. All right, women don't pick their values over their emotions. Women will always pick their emotions over their values. Their values are just smoke screens and subversions and diversions. Words. But women are driven by their emotions. All right, so it's very, very common that a woman might have to go out there to see what she can do and realize, oh, wait, hold on, what the fuck am I doing? Let me go back. That fella is the best I could do. Now, I'm not saying be a simp, but I am telling you, listen, be prepared for the woman to sleep with another fella. It doesn't matter. You could be too good to a woman and she'll still go off to see what she can do. You could be too bad to a woman and she'll go off to see what she can do. But regardless, the going elsewhere is just a part of the journey, man. Even for me multiple times, I've gone elsewhere for other reasons. Right, but as a man, as I get older, I'm smarter than these women. We are smarter. We know what's valuable and we know what's not. So we don't have to shoot ourselves in the foot and sabotage things. Maybe we do this. I experienced doing that when I was a teenager. And as I got older, I don't do that anymore. You know, I've got clarity. I really know how to value things and appraise things. I know what woman's valuable and what woman's not. I don't have to go out there making comparative analysis. But I'm no woman and a woman's no man. That's why women have to test things. You can't just make good observations of things. She's got to test stuff and compare stuff. Sometimes she's got to test stuff 3-4 times. You know, for example, if I'm dealing with a woman and she's moving booky and strange, I don't need empirical evidence in order for me to make an action or a decision. But women do. Women need to see empirical evidence before they can make an action or a decision. I can just get a feeling of you and I'm like, nah, I'm not dealing with you no more, bruv. You're strange, innit? Like you're uneasy. You're affecting my nervous system, and that is enough. I don't need empirical evidence, but the woman does. The woman can literally have all of the hints in the world, but she needs to see it on paper. She needs to see the text message. She needs to speak to the woman and hear the words. Life is difficult for women, guys. Right? And that difficulty is going to come and affect us. Right? And as I always say, this is why women compensate by how they look. The flaws of the woman is compensated by the soft, warm, juicy innards and how she looks. Right? Beauty is compensation for flaws. Just like with baby, cuteness is compensation for flaws. All that noise, all that noise. Compensation. All right? That's why us men, most of us are ugly. Right? Because we don't have those flaws. A lot of us are useful. Useful. You know? So we don't have to compensate like that. But usually beauty is compensation for flaws, or beauty is what predators have. A lion is beautiful. A tiger is beautiful. You see what I'm trying to say? Bears are beautiful. You know, but they're predators. You know, the Venus flytrap is beautiful to the things it ensnares. All right? So expect the woman walking away. And I'm not being funny, fellas. A lot of you guys, you need to walk away. A lot of you guys need to walk away. The vast majority of women I've dealt with, I've walked away. I'm always walking away. I'm always walking away if I've got to. The women today, they require you to walk away. The women today, they require you to block them from all contact. And she's got to turn up at your front door knocking. That's what the women today require. They require you to walk away in many, many ways for your own sanity. You know, but if you're not walking away, then she's going to walk away. Let her walk away. This is why I always say when you're dealing with women, you should be focused on providing them with value. Provide them with value. Don't just be focused on gaming them. 80% providing them with value, 30% punishing them. That's a good balance. Right? Don't get confused with my videos, right? My videos, it makes it seem that you got to do all these things. You ain't got to do all these things. Do 20% of the things that I tell you. I do about 20% of the things that I fucking tell you guys to do. It's not necessary. I'm just trying to educate you. I don't know where you are in your life, and I don't know what you're experiencing. So I'm just trying to give you information that resonates with you and you could use. But you don't have to fucking follow everything like a robot. I use about 20% of the things that I do. Just 9 times out of 10, I'm goofy with women. But I know what I'm doing. In that 20%, it allows me to be goofy with women. I can do whatever I want with women. I'm myself, man. You only need about 20% game. It's not that difficult. It's quite fun. As I said, I'm usually in these states of free flow with women anyway. It's really not that hard. All right, so just be prepared for women walking away. Just be prepared for it. It's a big test. There's all these little tests while she's in your presence. But when she's in your absence, those are all of the biggest tests, because she can really, really figure out who you are. You can talk a big game. You know, you can pretend to be something you're not. But in silence, in separation, in distance, in uncertainty, and in ambiguity, really exposes your character. Really exposes your character. And the woman's just taking notes about who you are. Who you are. All right, remember, if you truly love something, you love this thing more than whatever emotional outcomes you're attached to. And it's the same for us as well. When I'm dealing with a woman, when I'm training my woman, I'm training her to love me, fam. Like, don't love whatever emotional outcomes you want from me. How disrespectful. You can't own me. How disrespectful. I've got my own powerful path and direction I'm moving in on life. I need you to love me and that. Yeah, whatever expectations you have, honestly, you can put that shit in the bin. I'll let you get away with a couple of expectations. But nah, nothing like that, man. You can never try and keep me small or try to mold me into something that you want me to be for your security. I don't care. I don't care. All right. So when you're dealing with women, choose to love them in the masculine way. Never love them in a feminine way. She's already got all of that, and there's not much value in that way of love. There's not much value in that way of love. That's why the man's love is substantially more valuable than the woman's love. Straight up. The woman's love is everywhere. The woman's love is everywhere. The man's love is very, very rare. And if any of us is fortunate enough to have the man's love, Jesus, do you know how regulating that is for our nervous system? It's very regulating. How many of us are searching for our father's love our whole life? Look how damaging not having a dad is. So damaging. That's why I always say God, Christian God, whatever God, it literally represents the perfect father. Really showing how much our psyche desperately needs a man's love. Desperately need a man's love. Listen to gospel music. Look how much they're speaking about how perfect this father is. A man's love is so rare, especially to women. A lot of beautiful women never have a man's love. Beautiful women never receive it. They just have yes men and women all around them, upset, worried, trying to not upset her, trying to stay in her good books. So this woman is just devoid of a man's love. Fellas, I'm giving you game. Thank you guys for the support. Please continue to support me and I can continue to upload consistently. All of my best videos, by the way, are not my recent videos. My new subscribers, watch my early videos. Those are my best videos because I was not, I'm not used to uploading consistently. So I'm unable to really pour my energy into these videos. So my most recent videos has got my most views, but they're not my best, Go and watch my early videos when I was starting this shit. Those are my best videos, right? I'm trying to marry consistency, quantity with quality. Quantity with quality. All right, guys, thank you for the support. Honestly, I love you guys. Yeah. Sign up for one-on-one coaching. Hit the link in my bio. Just send me an email. That's all you need to do. And then we'll go from there.